Welcome to the Bulldogs Coaches Show, featuring Howe Athletic Director and Head Coach Zack Hudson. The Coaches Show is brought to you by Joe Brown for Grayson County District Attorney. Coach Tyler Grisham had the game of his life last week with 5 overall touchdowns to become only the 8th player in school history to do so. Do the other backs get a little jealous, but anybody could do that at any moment, right?
Absolutely. It just matters what their defense chooses to cover up. And they chose not to cover him up on some certain plays, and it was really just 2 plays. And they kept leaving that gap open, and so we're just going to keep running it until they stop it. So it's one of those deals where if they weren't covering something else up, we'd hand it to the other backs. But it was a game that he was able to just carry the ball all night and score a bunch of touchdowns, and they kept giving it to us, so we just had to keep taking it.
People like to talk about offense, but defensively, another shutout, 3rd in your last 9 games. That's got to feel good.
Well, it does. Offense puts some points on the board, so we don't score points, we don't win. So as long as we're scoring points, we're going to be all right. But I was proud of our defense. We had an early injury, the first play of the game, to our starting linebacker, and kids stepped in and played well. And I was more proud of our kids stepping in. We went without our starting defensive tackle the whole second half, and we keep having kids step up. It's a good sign.
Your kicking game has struggled in the first couple of weeks. Seems to be ironed out now. Some changes at holder. Talk about that.
There's a change at holder. It was a little better for us to change the holders because he comes off the sidelines and he's not sweaty and tired and stuff like that. But I don't think that had much to do with it. I think we changed a couple things and it was able to help Honecker out a little bit.
You're ranked 8th in Class 3A Division II. How's starting to get a little get recognized around the state now?
It's nice. Of course, none of it matters until the end. But it is nice that we're getting some recognition. These kids deserve it. They've worked hard and put the time into it to get that recognition.
We'll take a quick time out and let Grayson County District Attorney Joe Brown tell you about his upcoming campaign.
It's a great place to live, and it's a place I want to make better. We have a theater here, we have a symphony, we have all of the amenities that make this a great place to live. How do we continue to progress as a community while still holding on to those conservative values that we grew up with? And it's a question that I ask myself. After 15 years in office, it's not just a job. It can't be. Megan and I have decided to raise our kids here. We're invested in this community. When I think about my older daughter playing sports, my younger daughter in theater, and think about what their life will be, I want them to have the same great experiences that I did growing up. And I want them to know that their dad did everything that he possibly could to keep this community safe, to make it a great place to grow up. Grayson County is growing. There's no way to deny that. And with that comes the opportunity for progress. Together, we can make sure it's the kind of progress that a community as great as ours deserves.
Coach, Pottsboro's last district loss came way back in 2010, and that was to Howe here at Bulldog Stadium. They're ranked number 1 in Class 3A Division I. You're undefeated. It's the best team in school history for them, and right now for Howe, statistically, most people are anticipating a classic tonight. What do you think?
I think it's going to be a good game. They're going to have to stop an offensive line that has experience and some running backs with experience, and we got to stop some pretty dominant receivers on the outside and a quarterback that's special. He does some things that not many kids can do. So we got to figure out how to cover all that up, and they got to figure out how to cover us up. And it's could be a defensive battle, could be an offensive battle. We have no idea, and we just need to get better. It's not a district game. It doesn't really count. But our kids are going to have to play at a high level, which helps us going into district.
And that kind of leads into my next question. They're a classic Matt Poe offense. It loves to spread it out, throw it, run. Their quarterback runs the ball well. How do you stop that?
Well, you throw some different things at them, and you keep them guessing where they can't just stick to, a game plan. So we're going to throw some different things at them and see what happens.
And you mentioned it's not a district game. It doesn't have any implications on the playoffs. But this could be a huge statement for the Howe Bulldog program. Do you think about that at all?
Not really. We go into every Friday. We prepare for it the same. And we spend a lot of hours preparing for every game. I don't care how good the opponent is. So, we go into every Friday trying to win, and that's about all there is to it.
This has been the Bulldogs Coaches Show featuring Howe Athletic Director and Head Coach Zack Hudson. The Coaches Show is brought to you by Joe Brown for Grayson County District Attorney.